The fact that the military is interested in designing larger aircraft is really not surprising anymore. In many cases, it's more practical and more efficient to have one large airplane than two small ones. More passengers or cargo can be carried on each trip without having to add more crew. So, operational costs decrease in various aspects. However, the mystery and fascination with flights never really go away. The sights become even more impressive when these airplanes are longer than Olympic swimming pools, heavier than the largest tanks in the world, and taller than a 5-story building. The airplanes you'll see on this list are some of the largest and most amazing aircraft ever built, masterpieces that can truly be considered engineering marvels. Get yourself ready because here are 10 of the largest military aircraft in history. But before we start, if you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe so you'll always be updated with videos like this. That's it. Number 10. Boeing B-29 Superfortress. The B-29 Superfortress is a heavy bomber with 4 engines. Designed by Boeing, this was mainly used by the United States in late World War II and through the Korean War. At the time, it was seen as one of the most advanced bombers. It featured advanced technologies like a pressurized cabin, electronic fire control, and remote control machine gun turrets, which were rare then. The Superfortress was developed from the original B-17 Flying Fortress. The B-29 could carry up to 11 crew members, including the commander, pilot, flight engineer, bombardier, navigator, radio operator, radar operator, and 4 gunners. It has a length of approximately 30 meters, a wingspan of 43 meters, and can reach speeds of up to 570 kilometers per hour. Although it was intended to be a high-altitude day bomber, in actual operations, it was more often used for night bombing missions using incendiary bombs. This became the primary United States aircraft used to burn Japanese cities in the last months of World War II. The B-29 was also used to drop the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, ending the war. And unlike many bombers of that time, the B-29 continued to serve for many years after the war. It was only finally retired from service in the early 1960s after about 3,000 units had been produced. After number 9, Messerschmitt Me 323. Gigant number. The Messerschmitt Me 323, also known as Gigant, was a large military transport aircraft used by Germany during World War II. It was a motorized version of the military glider Me 321, considered the largest land-based transport aircraft used during the war. Production of the Me 323 reached 200 units during the war. For such a huge aircraft, it had a decent speed of over 218 kilometers per hour. The cargo compartment was 11 meters long, 3 meters wide, and 3.4 meters high. Because of this, it could carry various types of cargo, such as 2 4-ton trucks, an 88mm cannon, 52 barrels of fuel, 130 soldiers, or 60 stretchers for the wounded. In simple terms, almost anything needed to be brought to the front line could be loaded onto the Me 323 for defense. The plane had 5 roles. A machine gun was positioned on top of the fuselage, and there were also some behind the wings. These weapons were operated by gunners, the radio operator, and flight engineers. On April 22, 1943, 27, Me 323s carrying cargo crossed the Strait of Messina with an escort. Spitfire and Curtiss P-40 fighters attacked them. In this encounter, 21 Me 323s were destroyed, while only 3 P-40s were shot down by the escorting forces. This was one of the worst losses of this aircraft in a single operation. No Me 323 survived in active service after the war. However, the German Air Force Museum in Berlin holds some parts of the wing from one of these aircraft as part of their collection. Number 8, Rockwell B-1 Lancer. The Rockwell B-1 Lancer is a 4-engine variable geometry wing strategic bomber used by the United States Air Force since 1986. Its crew consists of 4 people: a pilot, an offensive systems officer, and a defensive systems officer responsible for radar and countermeasures. This massive aircraft is equipped with a highly advanced electronic system and has an internal weapon bay containing 2 rotary launchers for missiles and bombs. It can carry a fleet. The B-1 Lancer is 45.5 meters long with a 42-meter wingspan, ranking among the world's largest bombers. It can reach speeds of 1,335 kilometers per hour, making it one of the fastest bombers in service during the 1990s. The original B-1 was adapted for conventional bombing, and it first saw combat operation in Desert Fox in 1998, and it was also used in the NATO bombing campaign in Yugoslavia the following year. And up to the present, the B-1B Lancer continues to provide support to United States and NATO military forces, including in operations in Afghanistan and Iraq. 7. Douglas XB-19-7. Douglas. The Douglas XB-19 is considered the largest bomber built for the United States Army Air Corps until 1946. Initially named Experimental Bomber Long Range. 2 for Experimental Bomber Long Range, this project tested the United States' ability for very long-range strategic bombing. After Japan attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, the XB-19 was put on maximum alert. It featured an armed turret and new olive drab camouflage, in preparation for possible actual use in the war. Overall, the XB-19 performed well in almost every aspect. However, there was a major issue noticed, and that was the engine cooling system. Because of this, the airplane's cooling gills always had to be open, especially during long flights, which caused its actual speed to decrease while flying. Usually, the XB-19 carried more than 8,480 kilos of bombs. However, it could carry up to 1,828 kilos if necessary, in exchange for reducing the fuel load. As for armaments, the first prototype was not immediately equipped with weapons. Later, it received 2 37mm automatic cannons and 50 caliber Browning machine guns. One of the most remarkable parts of the XB-19 was its landing gear. The 2 main wheels measured 2.44 meters in diameter. That was huge for its time. Now only the 2 wheels remain. The XB-19 is preserved and displayed in some United States museums. Number 6, Tupolev 142. The Tupolev 142 is a turboprop maritime patrol and anti-submarine aircraft designated BEARF by NATO. Tupolev built it during the Soviet era, basing it on the Tupolev 95 strategic bomber. The aircraft has a length of approximately 40.9 meters, a height of 12.12 meters, and a wingspan reaching 50 meters. It has a maximum takeoff weight of 185,000 kilograms and a crew of 11. Flight crew, navigators, observers. The Tupolev 142 can reach a maximum speed of 925 kilometers per hour. It is well armed for defense and maritime missions, featuring anti-ship and KH-35 guided missiles AM, 2,320 automatic cannons, and depth charge torpedoes. Aside from its combat role, the Tupolev 142 also plays an important role in communicating with the Soviet Union's ballistic missile submarines. Some of its variants, such as the Tupolev 142-142MR, has long trailing radio antennas to send messages to submarines underwater, especially during nuclear war. Though its avionics are simpler than other versions, the Tupolev 142 became vital as a command and control link for the Soviet naval nuclear forces. Next. Number 5, Boeing C-17 Globemaster III. The Boeing C-17 Globemaster III is considered the workhorse of the United States Air Force because it regularly flies strategic airlift missions in different parts of the world. In total, around 250 units of the C-17 were made. The C-17 can carry up to 74.7 tons, including 1 or 2 main battle tanks, 3 Stryker 8x8 vehicles, or 3 AH-64 Apache helicopters. It can also transport a mix of palletized cargo, vehicles, and up to 102 paratroopers in one trip. The C-17 is a true multi-role aircraft. When necessary, it can land and take off even on unpaved runways. making it extremely important in areas with limited infrastructure. It has 4 turbofan engines allowing a cruising speed of 830 km/h and a top speed of 900 km/h. The C-17 measures 53 meters in length, has a wingspan of 51 meters, and stands almost 17 meters tall, making it a truly gigantic aircraft. The C-17 is vital in modern operations. It transported military supplies and humanitarian aid during Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan and Operation Iraqi Freedom. On March 26, 2023, C-17S from the United States Air Force joined the largest airborne mission since Operation Jaskos. In Panama in December 1989, thousands of paratroopers were dropped into Iraq under darkness. The Boeing C-17 Globemaster III serves not only in the United States Air Force, but also in the Air Forces of India, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates, proving its importance and reliability on a global level. No, for Tupolev 160 Blackjack or White Swan. The Tupolev 160, known as Blackjack or White Swan in Russia, is a heavy supersonic strategic bomber with variable geometry wings. This is the last strategic bomber designed by the Soviet Union and is still considered the heaviest and largest supersonic aircraft ever built in the world. It entered service in 1987 and is still active in the Russian Air Force with around 16 operational units. It has a wingspan of 54 meters. The Tupolev 160 is 7 meters tall and 13 meters high. It can reach a maximum speed of 2,200 kilometers per hour, making it one of the fastest military aircraft on the planet. The Tupolev 160 crew consists of 4: pilot, co-pilot, weapon officer, and radar operator. The pilot uses a joystick-style control similar to modern fighter jets. Behind the cockpit, there's a rest area and bathroom, a small kitchen, and refrigerator, which are important for long missions. Modernized Tupolev 160 variants now use both Global Positioning System and Global Navigation Satellite System satellite navigation. It has a flat liquid crystal display that shows colorful, detailed flight and combat information, and it can carry various types of weapons, including long-range cruise missiles and even anti-satellite weapons that use kinetic impact. Due to ongoing modernization, the Tupolev 160 is expected to stay in service until about 2040. This cements its status as a top historical bomber. Number 3, Convair, B-36 Peacemaker. The Convair B-36 Peacemaker is a propeller-driven strategic bomber that served in the United States Air Force. Its first production unit was delivered in 1947, and it was the only bomber designed for intercontinental range that was actively in service during the early stages of the Cold War. The B-36 soon became key to the United States' nuclear deterrent against the Soviet Union. Previously, it was slowly replaced by the B-52 Stratofortress in the mid-1950s. It was truly a real giant with a wingspan of 70 meters and a length of about 50 meters. It was operated by 15 crew members, including the pilot, co-pilot, navigator, bombardier, radar operator, flight engineer, 2 radio operators, and 8 gunners. There were also 4 bunk beds for the crew to rest and a kitchen at the rear of the plane to handle very long combat missions. As for armament, the Peacemaker had 16 to 20-millimeter cannons installed in 6 retractable turrets, as well as in the nose and tail of the plane. It could also carry different free-fall bombs, including nuclear ones. Currently, only 4 B-36 Peacemakers remain intact, and these can be seen in various United States museums, serving as quiet reminders of a time when size and range were the measures of power in the skies. 2 Lockheed Martin C-5M Super Galaxy II. The Lockheed Martin C-5M Super Galaxy is considered the main workhorse when it comes to the strategic air transport capacity of the United States. It's still the largest aircraft regularly used by the United States Armed Forces. The first C-5 Galaxy was delivered in 1969 and 131 units were produced by 1989. In total, around 125 C-5 aircraft were made, and it is estimated that more than 65% of them are still operational. The C-5M, the newest modernized version, is faster, has a longer range, and is capable of carrying heavier cargo compared to the earlier variants. One of the most well-known features of the Super Galaxy is its extremely spacious cargo bay. It was built for fast loading and unloading, with cargo access from both the front and rear. It has a maximum payload of about 130 tons and can carry 2 M1 Abrams main battle tanks, 7 to 10 strikes, carries 8 8x8 armored vehicles, 16 light vehicles, or 3 Black Hawk helicopters per trip. Just by its size alone, the plane is already impressive. The C-5M measures 75.5 meters long, 67.8 meters wide, and nearly 20 meters tall. Truly a giant in the sky. Despite its size, the Super Galaxy can fly at a cruising speed of about 830 kilometers per hour and reach a maximum speed of over 850 kilometers per hour. Impressive for an aircraft this size. When not carrying cargo, the C-5M can fly up to 11,200 kilometers without refueling. This makes it the longest-range military transport aircraft in the world. Because of ongoing upgrades and maintenance programs, the C-5M Super Galaxy is expected to remain in active service until around 2030. Antonov 124 Ruslan No. 1. The Antonov 124 Ruslan is named after a wise giant from a famous Russian opera. Currently, it is the largest military transport aircraft that is actively in production and service in the world. The Antonov 225, the world's largest airplane, wasn't included since it's used solely for civilian cargo. Development of the Antonov 124 as a long-range heavy transport aircraft began in 1971. It first flew in 1970 and entered service with the Soviet Air Force in 1987. Currently, only about 40 units are still in service. Most of the Antonov 124S are used in commercial cargo operations, while only a few units are directly assigned to military air transport. However, there are plans that civilian registered units may be requisitioned for military use when needed. The Antonov 124 has a maximum payload capacity of up to 157 tons, which is an enormous capability. Because of that, it can deliver almost any type of cargo. It can transport armored vehicles, helicopters, and other large equipment. It also features an upper deck behind the cockpit for up to 88 passengers. Due to limited fuselage pressurization, it's rarely used for paratrooper operations. However, its pressurized cargo compartment is about 20% larger than that of the C-5 Galaxy. The front and rear cargo doors are designed for quick loading and unloading, making it easy to handle heavy and unusual cargo. In terms of size, it is truly a giant. It measures 69 meters long with a 73.3 meter wingspan and a height of 21 meters. It is powered by 4 turbofan engines that provide a maximum speed of over 865 kilometers per hour and a range of about 7,000 kilometers. On June 22, 2019, an Antonov 124 was damaged during an armed conflict in Libya, specifically at Tripoli International Airport while the plane was just parked on the ramp. A reminder that even these giants are not safe from the dangers of war.